the SIDA public hearing to order. First order of business will be 321 South Salina Street.
Yes. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the City of Syracuse Industrial Development Agency on the 18th day of September 2018 at 8:30 a.m. local time at 233 East Washington Street, Common Council Chambers, City Hall, Syracuse, New York, in connection with the following matter. At the request of 321 South Salina Street, LLC, the agency previously undertook a project consisting of A, the acquisition of an interest in approximately 6,172 square feet of real property located at 321 and 323 South Salina Street, improved by two existing vacant buildings, namely an approximately 17,138 square foot, 5-story building at 321 South Salina Street, and an approximately 19,895 square foot, 5-story building at 323 South Salina Street, all in the city of Syracuse. The reconstruction and renovation of the 321 building for mixed use to contain approximately 11,425 feet of residential space and approximately 2,856 square feet of commercial space, and the reconstruction and renovation of the 323 building for mixed use to contain approximately 13,263 square feet of residential space and approximately 3,316 square feet of commercial space, such that the buildings will contain approximately 16 apartments in the aggregate, common areas, a gym, as well as the commercial space used for, among other things, a restaurant, all located on the land. The acquisition and installation in and at the land and facility of furniture, fixtures, and equipment, all of which are the project facility. B, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from state and local sales and use tax and mortgage recording tax as limited by Section 874 of the General Municipal Law, collectively the original financial assistance. C, the appointment of the company or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, reconstruction, renovation, equipping, and completion of the project facility, and the lease of the land and facility by the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, and the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company to the agency, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company is now requesting the agency consider and approve additional financial assistance for the benefit of the project in the form of a 15-year payment in lieu of tax agreement, the additional financial assistance. The company is the initial owner or operator of the project facility. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed additional financial assistance to the company, the proposed owner-operator, the location of the project facility, and the nature of the project. A copy of the application filed by the company with the agency with respect to the project, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the project, are available for public inspection during the business hours at the office of the agency, located at 201 East Washington Street, 6th floor, Syracuse, New York.
Would anybody like to speak in favor of the project?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan Benz. I'm one of the members of the organization, owner of the building, and also will be opening the restaurant and the speakeasy on the first floor as well. Morning, nice to see everybody. We're here this morning because it was our original intent not to actually go with the pilot program. We were originally going to use the 45A, which was an as-of-right tax incentive program for the projects. Unfortunately, that would have required us keeping both the buildings separate and participating in those individually. When we went through the building permit process, we found that there was about $300,000 in additional construction that would be required in order for us to do so. And it was the inclusion of smoke baffles, separate sprinkler systems, and a host of other construction-related items that really created the financial hardships on the project based on the current economics and what we can actually get for the market rent of these properties. As such, we decided to come back, and we thought it appropriate to come back and searching for this the pilot program. And I would also add, we are opening the restaurant on the first floor, so I know that a big part of this is a financial investment, but we are opening that restaurant. Estimated sales are over $2 million, of which there's going to be tax revenue generated from that, as well as over 50 jobs that are coming along with that as well. Thanks.
That's right.
Would anybody else like to speak in favor of the project?
Hi, my name is Kevin Caracoli, and I wasn't intending to speak on this matter, but I saw it on the agenda. I actually represent the property owner right next door, 325 South Salina Street, LLC, and its principal, Jeffrey Appel. We're fully supportive of this. As the very next door neighbor, we only see the sense that this makes. The building that my client owns is 4 apartment units, luxury apartments on South Salina Street. We see Ryan's project and our building as key components to restoring that stretch of South Salina Street. There's a lot of activity, and we want to keep that momentum going. We see this as a great project to at least for your consideration in supporting this effort. I take no position with respect to the benefits. I think they're certainly entitled to them. They make a good argument for them, but it's ultimately your decision to make. But we certainly support the project. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of the project? Would anybody like to speak one last time? Would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project? Would anybody like to speak against the project?
Once again, the Urban Jobs Task Force isn't against downtown redevelopment. We just feel that these redevelopment funds somehow need to touch the struggling communities. So as you all saw in the paper, the commentary this Sunday, where is the urgency in attacking city's property? And the editorial reads, Syracuse Mayor Ben Wall said he's focusing the city's anti-poverty efforts on housing stability, bridging the digital divide, and economic development to create jobs. Those are long-term strategies. More immediately, attention must be paid to the other side of the economic development coin. The tax incentives the city, county, and state throw at companies and developers to build or expand. Every tax dollar not collected is a dollar that cannot be applied to improving housing, stabilizing neighborhoods, and strengthening our schools. So once again, we're up here, and I just want to tell you what we've lost the 7 years we've been coming here, and partly because of the whole people going, developers going to the county. We've lost transparency in terms of the community because no longer the Common Council votes on pilots. As I understand, the fee is no longer 1.5% of the project, it's 1%, like the counties. I'm suggesting developers could pay into some sort of training, workforce training, as the city is gearing up to, create Syracuse Build. One trainer told me that one session of a full course of NCCER pre-apprenticeship program costs $100,000 for 20 people. So we need those funds for training. We need developers like VIP Structures who are stepping up to the plate and saying, we're going to go out of our way to hire contractors that are going to hire out of the city and hire minorities. We need that. And I don't know how we do it, but I just tell you that I know the city of Cleveland, when they went to build something, they brought the unions together. They brought the developers together and the contractors together. They brought the educational communities together. And it was a collaboration. They brought the politicians together. And it was hard, but they created something. And I'm not sure what we're creating because I feel like there's a lot of silos going on. And we really need to engage developers and contractors to step up to the plate, but also the city needs to create that space so people can do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak against the project?
Jim Mason with the Carpenters Union. I just want to add on what Aggie said a little bit. I think it's the responsibility of the IDA to add apprenticeship language to these projects. I think that's a good way for us to be able to help the underemployed people that live within the city to be able to make a career. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak against the project?
I'm Linda Malik from ACTS, and it is really heartbreaking to see that we come together every month and we're still stuck in the same place, which really limits opportunities for people who most need it, and we sort of just greenline so many projects, and I don't understand why. And I know this is a comment period, but I would want, as an organizer, I would like to understand what we can do as a greater community to help push you to really make these changes, because it doesn't make sense to come back. We are hurting ourselves. If you're hurting the people in your community, you're hurting the community itself, the greater community. So I don't know if you can respond to this, but I need to look at ways where we can engage more and we can help push things forward. I will be speaking to the mayor next month, and I need to know, is this board really committed to making these changes, or are we just going to keep circling and circling and nothing really ever changes? Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak against the project?
Rich Pachalski, Executive Director of Syracuse United Neighbors, 1540 South Salina Street. We've been around 40 years in the South and near West Side neighborhoods, fighting for better housing, anti-crime initiatives, job opportunities, and services from the city of Syracuse. So, you got another study that comes out and says Syracuse is the 9th most poverty-ridden city in the US of A. Great record. A lot of accomplishments. I don't see anything coming from this board. You know, you get a lot of money, and we have 1,500 vacant houses. 650 of them are in the southwest neighborhoods, Skunk City, Brighton, near West Side, South Side, Southwest. I go by them every day. Recently, we've been involved in the city, neighborhood business development, looking at houses, vacant houses owned by the land bank that could be used towards an AHC New York State grant. Nice houses. You got to get out, look at these houses. We did. You know, I think they should be fixed up and put on the market. I just came from a land bank board meeting. There are not that many houses on the list for sale. Even worse, not that many on the list. 4 maybe for sale in the near West Side. Except for one, you know, there's a few rentals. They're going to be sold to investors. Only one owner occupied. You know, where are we going on the near West Side? We see downtown. Looks great. I just walked by the state office building to see what's going on with the telephone company. You know, nice to see that construction. What do we got? Cranes coming down on the southwest side, knocking down another one. You know, so there are resources that the SIDA board has. It has contributed money to the city over the years. You know, where is the money to fix up these vacant houses and to hopefully, you know, reduce poverty in our neighborhoods, get people to purchase low-cost housing? You can't get a better deal in Syracuse than what's going on, and this could happen. So I'll be back again. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak against the project?
I want to add one thing. I want to commend Judy. I saw the schedule of payments for this pilot in the application. And what I'd like to know, I would like, you know, for example, on this project, it's estimated almost about $20,000 is for the mortgage recording, about $190,000, I think, is for the sales tax exemption. And I had to calculate, and I don't know if I calculated it right, but I took the last payment in the 15th year, I multiplied it by 15, and said that the taxes would have been, the real property taxes would have been 1.3 million or something, and I subtracted it from your total, and I got about $334,000. I added it all up, and it looked like the package was like a little more than $500,000. We should know that before a hearing, and it should be very clear. I shouldn't have to go into the documents. It should be in the summary. Then we get it, what it is. And I don't know if I calculated right, but we're wondering what is the total tax benefit package. And the public should know that. And I shouldn't have to dig. So I'm just suggesting we just make a little improvement on transparency here.
Yeah. Talk about it when we go to the project. Yeah.
Thank you.
We can talk about it at the project.
Would anybody else like to speak against the project? One last time, would anybody like to speak against the project? Okay, with that, I can now call the meeting to order. First, a roll call.
Kathy Murphy, treasurer.
Mike Frame, chair.
Steve Thompson.
Ken Kinsey.
Great. Next, proof of notice. We'll recognize that proof of notice was provided and posted. Next, we'll move on to minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Now we'll move on to new business. First, 321 South Salina Street.
Good morning. So the first resolution in your agenda is the request to authorize the execution and delivery of a pilot agreement with respect to 321 South Salina Street, for which we just held the public hearing. As Ryan indicated when he spoke in favor of the project, they did not originally seek a pilot because they intended to keep the two parcels as separate, distinct tax parcel IDs. When they went through the process with the city, they were told that they really could not do that because of fire prevention and other related things. And if they joined the buildings, they would no longer qualify for the as-of-right 485 exemption. And as a result of that and the increased costs it would put on the project in order to keep them separate, they have come back and applied for this pilot, which is outlined in the resolution. So with that, the resolution seeks the board's authorization of the pilot and the execution and delivery of a pilot agreement with the schedule attached in your resolution.
Just also note, as per GML, there is a cost-benefit analysis included with the meeting materials that outlines the abatement costs to the project. Aggie was correct in her meetings or comments in the public hearing. The sales tax is $189,636. The mortgage tax is $19,637, and the total pilot abatement, that is the value between full assessment and the abated cost, is $261,932 for a total abatement cost on this project of $471,205.
On a $9 million or so
on a
investment.
$4.3 million total project cost. So the cost-benefit ratio is 19.24 to 1.
Right.
With that, so the resolution reads, resolution approving a payment in lieu of taxes based on, well, the information that we just heard. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Next, we'll move on to Days Plaza LLC.
Sure, thank you. The Days Plaza project is before you to authorize a public hearing at our next meeting. The Days project, as people are familiar with the building on the corner of Jefferson and South Salina, currently has 61 fully rented residential units and approximately 70,000 square feet of commercial space. The project is proposing to convert a portion of that commercial space into 34 residential units, retain about 7,800 square feet of commercial space at a total project cost of $5.4 million. They will be requesting mortgage recording tax exemption and a sales tax exemption. And again, this is just authorizing a public hearing.
Any questions? So can I have a motion to approve the resolution to authorize a public hearing on the project? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution carries. Now we'll move on to Armory Boys LLC.
Thank you. Is this your name?
I can do it.
No, no, no.
The resolution in the agenda seeks to extend a sales tax appointment that was previously granted on this project. The project was previously approved and undertaken at the end of last year that we closed on the Piper Phillips building. It's a mixed-use facility. There is no pilot on this. The documents that we entered, the lease documents, appointed the company as your agent for purposes of completing the project. The leases and the appointment were scheduled to expire the 1st of this month. The company realized that it was not yet completed with the renovations and has submitted a request to extend both the leases and the term of the appointment. It is important to note that the company is not seeking any increase in previously approved financial assistance, just additional time to complete the project. So the resolution before you authorizes the extension through March 31st of 2019 and authorizes us to undertake any necessary amendments to the lease documents to continue the leases for that period of time as well. And if you have any questions about the project, I know counsel for the company is present today to answer those.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the extension of the leases and sales tax appointment through March 31st, 2019.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries. Is there any other additional business? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, everyone.